Hi 4-H friends, Ann Sherrard here again, 4-H educator in Garrett County. We're going to talk about how to complete your Maryland 4-H summary record for your record book. The summary record, the word summary is going to tell you that this you just do one time each year. And I want to compare that to your general record sheet. For every project you take, you complete one record sheet, but the summary is just in your book one time at the front of your book, and it is a summary of your year. And so this is a form that's created by the Maryland State 4-H program. So people all across the state of Maryland use this form. And what it's asking you on the front cover is just your name and address, your age. It reminds you that if you're a junior, it's years 8 through 10, intermediates are years 11 through 13, and our senior members are age 14 to 18. So you check that off, your grade in school, and then also how many years you've been in 4-H. You list your county, your club, and then it asks you for your 4-H goals for this year. This can be anything you want to say there. You're going to be able to fill in your goals for each project later. So this goal, it can just be one sentence. It could be anything you want it to be for your goals for the year. If you would just think to yourself, it could be get more members in my club. It might be make some new friends. It could be do better in a show, so just whatever you would say to your parents, like what's your goal of being in 4-H this year. Then we just ask you to list the projects that you're taking this year, and there's a place for you to have a volunteer sign your form. That would be your club leader is going to have that signature there. The second sheet of the summary record is a place to mark all the club meetings that you attended. So in 4-H in Maryland, our 4-H year runs from January to December. So those months are listed across the top. You just put your club name in and you check mark each meeting that you attended. If a meeting is not held for any reason, then you can just write canceled, and obviously you don't check mark that. There are places for multiple club names here. Occasionally, somebody can be a member of more than one club. It's not usually, but if you have more than one club, you can list them there. And you would just mark your attendance then for each club. The next little section says committees and offices. So it's what you did at your club meetings. And sometimes people will leave this blank because if you are elected as president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, reporter, or other roles in your club, you would list that role there and describe what you did in that officer position. But if you're not an officer, you can still use this section to say what you did at the club meeting. It could be that you brought some refreshments, or maybe you led a game, or had any other role that helped out your club. And so there's usually something you can put there. It's basically, how did I help my club this year? The bottom section on this second page says 4-H promotion activities. So this is saying, what did you do to let other people know about 4-H? So some of the main ways that we let people know about 4-H is maybe a radio spot or a newspaper story, but it can also be that you helped with a fair booth or a float that your club did. It can also just be as easy as talking to people about 4-H. So usually, again, there's usually something you've done that would help promote 4-H. It could be any of those obvious ones I mentioned, but it's also fine just to say that I talked to my cousin about 4-H, or I told a friend about 4-H, or hopefully maybe you invited a friend to see if they wanted to join. So anything you do there just to let people know about 4-H. Our third page just has two sections. The first one is communication activities. So this is if you gave a speech, like, 4-H is big about doing public speaking, but also if you gave a demonstration or had some opportunity to talk to others. This could be even if you gave a report at your club meeting. A lot of times at a club meeting, they'll say, did anybody go to ski day last month? Or did anybody participate in the fair? Or different kinds of activities at the county level. So if you give a report on something because you attended that event, that would count here as a communication activity. The reason this is in the 4-H summary record is that really, we always say that one of the best skills that kids get from being a 4-H member is learning to be comfortable talking to other people in front of small groups and then eventually maybe larger groups. And so every chance you get to talk in front of somebody, it's going to be better for you in the long run. And this is the #1 skill and that people say they gain from 4-H. So we're always trying to make sure that everybody has a chance to do some kind of communication activity every year. The last thing here on page 3 is awards and honors. And so this would be any special awards you may have gotten at Achievement Night, or awards at the county fair, or any contest or activity that you participated in. You can just list what those were and what the award was. This is a nice thing to have in your record book when you're older and you're looking to put together a portfolio or some kind of a resume, because you can just look back in here then and quickly gather all the information you'd like to include. The very last page of the summary record, it says Journal of Activities, Events, and Experiences. So this is really just kind of a list of the date and what kind of 4-H event you had. So if you have regular activities that your club does, you can list them here. And this is also a place you can put school, sports, and other activities. So this would be a place to list fun things that you did with your club, how you helped, events that you participated in at the club or county or even state or national level. But it also says school, sports, etc. So if you had something this year that you really want to remember, could be, exceptional activities, with a sports team that won, or if you were elected as the leader of something, whatever it is. This can be personal family things too. This is really just saying, this year, what is it that stood out with 4-H and with me as a person, and things that you want to just keep track of. So your book, in a way, ends up being kind of like a scrapbook or a memory book. So anything that you want to keep track of for that year, just put it on the summary record on the back.